sorry, as well as a BSc in Petroleum Engineering from the University of Port Harcourt, Cross Rivers. So, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, I beg your pardon. Tombra has two beautiful daughters she shares the pleasure of raising with her husband. So please, so with a loud ovation, please let's make welcome our speaker, Mrs. Tombra Woso Hagu.
Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, fantastic. Hi. Hello. Discover You Conference. How are you guys today? I can't see any cameras on and it makes me feel alone and sad. So are you guys going to turn on your cameras? Or do you want me to turn off my own? Let's just all of us turn off our cameras. Should we do that? Okay, let's do that.
No.
Let's do that.
No.
Yeah, since nobody wants to turn on their cameras, let's all off cameras and let's be talking like this. Please, you guys need to turn out. At least I want to see some cameras on to make me feel warm and welcome, to make me feel happy, to make me feel comfortable, to make me feel like, God bless you, Glory. Remedy, God bless you, Oyebo, as well. God bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So you've heard them. My name is Tombra Wonswagu. Just to introduce myself again, my name is Tombra Wonswagu, and I often say that I am a many things. But one of the beautiful things about the work that I do in the space of helping people discover themselves is that although I'm able to do many things, I understand what the leading thing in me is. What the thing that gives the most impact is. So one of the beautiful things about coming to that realization, right, is that it helps you almost, prioritize your life. So is there anybody on this call that, feels like they're torn into different parts of, they feel like, I think the word is multi-potentialite. You feel like you're torn in different parts and, there's so many things that you can do. Is there anybody else like that, or is it just me? Because I'm like that. You heard on my CV, you heard when I was reading my CV. As you heard when Dorcas was reading, she said, I've delivered enterprise-wide coaching. I've done podcasts, this thing. I'm also a transformational coach and I teach on identity. You heard all of that. But if you were to ask me, what is the thing that I do that emanates from the reason why I was created? What is the thing that I do that emanates from the core of me? I will tell you it is this work. This work that I'm doing. So my objective today, right, as part of this session, is to help you people, give you the building blocks that would help you frame that same realization in your lives. So that no matter where the request is coming from, no matter where the pool of life is coming from, you are centered. You know the thing that you're operating your highest office in. You know the thing that no matter what, this is the thing that I do that easily brings the most impact, that impacts people the most. You are able to understand how to start to define that for yourself. If you do not define that and you don't know that, the risk that you run is that you can still be successful. You can, but it will be defective success because it's like climbing a ladder, but it's it's against the wrong wall. So you get to the top of the mountain or the top of the place that you're getting to, and it's like you find out that, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? And for some of you, what I'm saying is already making sense. I know that because there's somebody here who is already having that experience. Things on the outside, it's supposed to look good. To everybody else, it looks good. Everybody else, you are, going through the motions, you've got your family, you've got everything, you've got a job, it looks good. And you feel somehow when you tell somebody, like, I feel like there's something missing. They're like, Shh, why will you say that? Why will you say that? You're ungrateful. Jesus Christ will not be happy with you. But inside you, you feel like you have not come into the fullness of yourself. And that is what happens when you're not operating from the space of understanding who you are at your core. Is there anybody else? Can I see, like, a show of hands? So this is going to be an interactive class. Is there anybody else who feels that way? I want you guys to, or is it just me in the whole world? Is there anybody who sometimes you kind of feel like there's something that is missing? There's something that I'm supposed to do, but I haven't really, Okay, I see Precious saying that, yes, that is me. Okay, I'm glad. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the class today is two things. I am feeling that way. I'm at that point now. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. God will give us clarity as we navigate the conversation today. And I hope that at least, at the very least, you start to see pointers that show you the way to where you're supposed to go, right? I know. Just listen. Listen for what I say. Listen for the spirit behind what I say, right? Because it might not all make sense to you now. Take notes, go back, journal when you get home on some of the points that I will make, and watch as the clarity starts to rush you. Watch as the clarity starts to overtake you, right? Okay, so before I start anything, before I teach anything, I always start with my what I call my 10 agreements. It is fundamental that any single person that I interact with, and particularly in a teaching capacity, I share this with them because I want to leave you empowered, right? So no matter where you are now, the agreements that I start to read out will I want it to be imprinted upon your subconscious before I even start talking about what I came here to talk about, right? So as I read through it to make sense to you, the first is I am worthy. One of the things I want you to know is that you are worthy. And your worthiness comes from who you are in God and nothing else. Your worthiness doesn't come from the job that you do. Your worthiness doesn't come from all your social standing. Your worthiness doesn't come from the fact that you're a mom or you're a dad or you have this car or none of that. The problem with, attaching your worthiness to all these things is that if anything goes wrong in all of those things, then you feel like you have no place in the world, right? So your worthiness is anchored to who you are in God and nothing else. Okay? So I want you guys to say that. As I say it, just say it where you are. Say, my worthiness comes from who I am in God and nothing else. I see my people. Delphine, welcome. I see you. The second point is I have power, right? My words and my thoughts hold immense power, and I never use them against myself. So I want you to say that I have power. My words and my thoughts, they hold immense power, and I never use them against myself. From today, don't use your words, don't use your thoughts to attack yourself. Okay? Because you're just doing yourself a disservice. The third thing is I am an overcomer. Despite everything I have experienced, I am still standing and thriving, and I feel no shame for the things that I've overcome. A lot of times, the trap of the enemy is to make you feel like, you are damaged goods when you have gone through a trial, when you have gone through a challenge or a setback, that there's something defective in you. But I want to put to you today that the fact that you have overcome that trial actually shows a different perspective of you. It shows that you are strong, not weak. Okay? So you are strong because you've overcome. You are not weak because you've overcome. So somebody is going to get that later. And when you get that and you sit down in that, your life will change, right? The next one is I am a creative force. I want you to understand who you are. I want you to understand that there is power in your mouth like this. We've talked about your words holding power, but beyond that, you are a creative force. You are God, small God. So when you are moving and you're doing, you understand that you can use your mouth to create the life you desire on earth, right? Then the next one, sorry, the next one is I am light. Every single person who experiences me is better for it. Somebody say amen. Every single person, and declare these things. Declare these things. I am light. Every single person who experiences me is better for it. No matter your interaction. If you interact with Tombra, you'll be better for it. You will be better for it. In any capacity that you meet me, you will be better for it. I can tell you that for a fact. And I want you to walk around life with that same conviction that anywhere you experience and you hit me, Sha, I will make your life better. That is the conviction that I want you to walk around life with. The next one is I am responsible. I am responsible for my actions and not the actions of others. You must understand that it is not your fault that somebody else does something. You can only control yourself. Okay? So don't try and go around trying to control other people. You can make suggestions to them, but you can't control them. You can't control what they do. You can't control what happens, but you can control yourself. Okay? Then I am full of love. Hate is toxic and it doesn't exist on the inside of me. I am full of love. Hate is toxic and it doesn't exist on the inside of me. And number 8 says, I am radical in my desire to succeed. You have to be radical. You have to be determined. You have to want to succeed. Success is your birthright. It's not something that belongs to a select few. Continue to say that I am radical in my desire to succeed. Success is my birthright. Yeah, it is your birthright. So I go from being to doing to having, and I have dominion. I have dominion over the things that once held me back. You have dominion. And the last point is I am committed. I am committed to serving the highest call on my life. I am committed to serving the highest call on my life. So before we go into the main meat of today, I want you guys to pop in the comment box which one of those 10 agreements resonated the most with you. I want to see it. Deborah says, I am responsible for my actions and not that of others. I love it. Thank you. Glory says, I am creative. I am a custodian of God's creative power here on earth, and I use it to create the life that I desire. I love it. Fantastic. Any more from anyone? I am committed. Yes, Temitokba, I see you and I know that you are. I am committed to serving the highest call on my life. And Glory says, I am radical with my desire to succeed. I love it. You guys are good students, very good students. Well done, well done, well done. Okay, so let's talk about identity. Let's talk about, where you go, when you feel as if, you know what, and this is beneficial for every single person. Even if you feel like you know yourself, like, oh, I know who I am, Tombra, like, oh, me, or whatever. Even if you feel that, you know what, there is always a deeper level. There is always a deeper dimension. Identity isn't something that you fully discover. We will keep discovering it until Jesus comes. We will keep discovering it because we are multi-layered human beings. The way God has made us so intricately, we are so deep and multi-dimensional that every day we are like, we just keep on unraveling. But one of the things that we can do is to understand where we are right now in this my unique, like today, if you say, who am I now? You have to be able to say it. Oh, Precious, well done. Precious says, I am light. I love it. I love that has stayed with you. You guys, the ones that have stayed with you, yeah? Just because there is something that is causing it to, like, for you to remember. I read 10. but there is one in particular that is really, really, is etched on your in your memory. I want you to make sure you own it. You embody that statement every day. When you go out tomorrow, remember that you are light. When you go out tomorrow, remember that you are radical in your desire to succeed. When you go out, remember that you're committed to serving the highest call of your life. Let that be the mantra of your life. Operate from that and then do everything else coming down from there, but start there in your expression. Yeah. So going back to identity, I want to give you a formula that helps you very easily start to break down who you are. Very high level formula. I run a mastermind, or I've done that, but I'm transitioning into something. And some people were part of that mastermind are here today, where I talk about identity for 4 weeks. Deep. So what I'm trying to do here is to give you sort of like something like a bite-sized pack. When you go for a party, and they give you a party pack. They say just take this party pack and just eat and jollof at home. That's what I'm trying to give you. Just something little, something light that you can just take away that will serve you. Okay. So identity, you can if you use what I call the head to fit method. The head to feet method for understanding who you are and what you do here on earth. It's called the head to feet method. Yeah, and it's very easy when you think about it like that. The first one is your head, and I'll explain each of the parts. The first the first part is your head, right? And what your head speaks to is your divinity, your divine place here on earth. Remember what I said? If you anchor everything that you are on things that can change, then if those things change, you will change too. And you will go into a state of emotional spiraling, right? Why? Because you have anchored yourself on something that is not fixed. So when I say your head represents your divinity, represent the thing that is houses everything, the most the key parts of you is your divinity. And when I say divinity, I mean who you are in God. Part of you that can never, ever, 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 ever be taken away, no matter you. So divinity statements are statements that activate, the delegated authority that you have from God. It invokes power in your God seats. We all carry God inside of us. And it validates, and this is the one I love the most, it validates your truest nature. Your truest nature, no matter what, it validates. It is not circumstantial. Remember, I said if you anchor who you are on different things that are circumstantial, you will change. Divinity statements are not circumstantial. They are not, it's not a prayer, it's not a wish, it's not subject to conjecture, it's not time bound, it's not, oh, this is who I am between January and February. This is who I am, period. And I'll give you some examples of divinity statements, what it is, so that you can go home and write your own, right? Are you guys ready to take this? You guys ready? Okay. I am valuable and I am enough. That's a divine. It's not based on what other people say. You are enough before you do, before you achieve or acquire anything. You're enough. I was born. Another one is I was born worthy of love, joy, and respect. That is your birthright. That's a divinity statement. It's that's who you are. No matter who you are, you were born when God created you. He says that this one that I created is born worthy of love, worthy of joy and respect. So if you come to earth and people start disrespecting you, and you now say, oh, because of that, then I deserve it, you have now come out of the divinity that you're supposed to be operating in. Yeah? The next one is, I am a force for good, carrying and delivering a message to the world. The next one, I am an incarnation of God Almighty, and nothing can detract from what I carry on the inside of me. These are strong divinity statements that speak to who you are on the inside of you, regardless. Remember, in those statements, did you hear anything about I'm a wife, I studied at this university? All those things are fleeting. I live in the UK. No, it's about who you are, how God created you. Those are your statements. So remember that that's your head. That's where you operate from. Yeah. It controls everything, and it is before everything else. The next one is your heart, right? And your heart speaks to your superpowers. It speaks to your superpowers. It's like what I call it's your lifeblood, right? So superpowers, for those of you, it's like, hey, Tomba, what is a superpower? Superpowers are, they refer to areas where you show abilities that are beyond average. Like you do something and somebody's like, Glory, how do you do this thing so easily? Gloria, has anybody ever asked you that question before on anything? How come, Glory, when I just do this, I find it difficult, but when it's you, it looks like you just do it very easily. Why? That's your superpower dimension. Yeah, Glory. So that needs to be sharpened. So there's another dimension of that, but let me just talk about the superpower, then I'll talk about how you sharpen it. But that superpower, it's like when God created us, He created us, all of us, unique in our different offering abilities, right? But remember, the Bible talks about how, we are all the body of Christ, right? So what that means is that there are people that serve the function of hands. There are some people that will serve the function of head. There are some people that will serve the function of neck. There are some people that will serve the function of leg. Abby, how many bodies, when God says that we are the body of Christ, how many bodies do you think that He's referring to? It's one body, Abby. It's one body now. Abby, are you part of
Just
another
one
body of
body.
Christ? Okay, I just want to find
No,
out if
just
you have
one.
another. If you have another body, let me know. Let me come off of this Zoom quickly, because I don't want to be part of anybody that's of another body. So guess what? If we're all part of one body, we're all part of one body. That means, and we're how many billion people in this world? We're 6 billion people, Abby. 6 billion in this world. So that means that there are a group of people that provide function of hand. So it's not only one hand. There's sets of people that provide the function of hand. There are sets of people that do the neck. There are sets of people that do eyes. So what I'm trying to explain to you is the concept of archetypal profiling. And what it means is that it's like an army. There is a unit, that your superpower that you do, that glory, that thing that you do that is easy for you. It is a type of ability that is given to certain group of people that are part of that particular area of the body of Christ that you were called to serve. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? So when you start to think about yourself from this perspective, it almost like it's like, okay, so I'm supposed to feel a particular whole. I'm supposed to fill a particular role. And I'm supposed to contribute to the strengthening of this particular body and this particular area in the body of Christ. It makes you understand that you have value to add to this world. Yeah? So you're not operating as a silo. Hey, it's just me and my child. No, there is work to do. And It's like an army. You have been conscribed to a particular place. There are some people in the army, their job, when they blow the the bell in their cantonments, some people, you see all of them rushing to go and do stuff, but they're all rushing in different to go and start at different stations. Some people are rushing to go to the front line. Some people are rushing to the communication place. Some people are snipers. They are rushing to the hill so that they can snipe. Some people are drivers. They are rushing to the car. So what is your post? The superpower is what starts to define where your post is. Does that make sense? Am I making sense to you guys? Yes? Okay. So example of
Yes, you
superpower.
are.
Okay, let me give you example of superpowers, right? Some people are catalysts. What's a catalyst? Who did science? A catalyst is something that makes a chemical reaction go faster. So some people are, once they just come, it's a catalyst or activator, like me. That's my own superpower. I'm an activator. If I speak to you and you are dying, you will come to life. I can tell you that. I can just tell you that for free because that's my superpower. I will speak to your soul. You will wake up. You will. But why do I have so much conviction in it? Because I know it is my superpower and I have developed it. So the reason why a lot of you, and I don't want to pick on you, Glory, but the reason why maybe you're not walking in the boldness is that people have told you, hey, Glory, you do this thing very easily. And you say, oh, thank you. Okay, all right, no problem. And you continue. But you're not saying, hey, this thing I do very quickly. Let me lambano it. Okay, so it's a natural innate ability. Okay. What can I do to develop mastery in this thing? That's the question I ask myself. What can I do? So I can activate people. I've always been like that since I was 5 years old. I've been encouraging people, helping people see their higher selves. And I often say, if you've never heard my story, I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old when I was put into boarding house. I wasn't meant to be born. My father gave my mother money to terminate the pregnancy of me. My mother ran away and had me. I was 5 years old. I was put into boarding house. I was 6.5 years old. My mother left. So I had this, and that is why this thing is so important to me, because I understand the pain of not knowing your place in the world. I understand it. I've lived it. So if you see me like this, it is also who you can be if you do the work. It is also who you can be if you do the work. But anyway, let's go back to the lambanoing of superpowers. You now understand that you're an activator. Okay, what can I do to develop mastery? Somebody should ask me, Tombra, what is mastery? Mastery is is you being able to execute without the use of conscious resources. Right? And what does that really, really mean? So you know that you have innate abilities. You know that you have there's a core competency in this thing. This thing, when people tell me that I can do this thing easily, then you want to move that core competence into the zone of mastery so that you can do it without thinking too much. What does mastery look like? Mastery looks like what I'm doing with you guys now. Temitope called me, say, oh, I want you to come and speak on identity. I am executing without use of conscious resources. I did not sit down and fast for 10 days to come to you today. I called her, if she's on the, it's Temitope here. I called her maybe 10 minutes ago or something before the start of this.
Yeah.
What's happening? What do you want me to talk about? What exactly am I? Who is this? Why? Because I'm already prepared. I've mastered wherever you people are coming from. I'm ready for you. That's mastery, and you get mastery by doing over and over and over, repeating it. Then once you now have mastered it, the next phase that you go on to is replication. You master, you replicate. But that one, I'm going into a deep. I've gone tangent now, but I'll leave that one. You people, if you want to hear that, you have to meet me somewhere else to get this one. But let's focus on the superpowers. Let me give you at least 3 or 4 more superpowers. Who wants to hear 3 or 4 more superpowers? Yeah.
I do.
Fantastic. Activator is a superpower. You have people that are so great at analyzing. Have you met such people? Before you know, their mind, they can add. And I'm not saying mad, so if you bring them an issue, they can analyze it. Oh, this will impact this, that will impact that. That's a type of brain and the type of mind that you have been given. Some people are great strategists. It's similar to the analyzing, but strategists, they see from a vantage point that other people can't see. So you have so many, some people are great at communicating. Some people are great at, maximizing. Some people are great at restorative. They have restorative gifts. They can, they can help people see themselves better. Some people are great. They have great abilities to focus. If there are some people, if they say they're going to do something, they're like dog with a bone. You cannot stop them. And you say, you're too stubborn. You're too stubborn. You don't know that that's the gift that God has given them to focus in the place of battle. Maybe they are snipers and they need focus. But you still sit down there and shout, you're too stubborn, you're too stubborn, you're too stubborn. But that is their superpower. What they're supposed to be doing is converting that superpower to mastery so that it serves the world, right? But anyways, I'll move on from that. The next one is your hand, right? And your hand is what I refer to as, the application of your superpowers. The application, and it's a core strength, right? So it is what you do. It's like what you will call purpose in action. So it's the outward manifestation of the thing that you are good at doing. So it's that thing that it's where I talked about, you've got the gift and you start to master it. So cost your hand, if you're using this formula, the hand is what should remind you of the use, how you're using the things that you have been naturally wired to do for, right? I'm just looking at time and realizing that I don't want to overrun. So I'm just going to move very quickly now. The next one is your legs. So who remembers? I've talked about the head, which is your divinity, who you are. I've talked about your heart, which is your superpowers. I've talked about your hand, which is the manifestation of your superpowers. So let me just give you an example of the hand one, just so that it's easy to envision. So one of the things, like I said to you guys, you know what? I activate people, right? So how, when it now comes into the zone of a core strength, how do I activate people? I activate people through coaching. I activate people through this. So it's being able to name the ways in which you use your superpowers. Are you guys getting it? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, we do.
Okay, good.
I do.
Okay, awesome. If one person gets it, then I came for the one. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Oh, awesome. Then the legs is what I call, the legs is the next part of the body that you need to be aware of, and that is your core values, right? And this is so important because this is what you stand on. If your core values are out of alignment, then everything is out of balance. Yeah. So this is very, very important. You can be operating with superpowers, but you are doing it out of a value system that serves the world and serves your head, your divinity. Yeah. So core values are, beliefs that we hold about ourselves and the world around us. So core values are, statement things that, it's like we get a lot of our core values from conditioning when we're growing up. You'll grow up in a particular area, you imbibe how the culture behaves, you imbibe how the social context, you imbibe a lot of these things. But it has to come a time in your life where you really, really sit down and say that, you know what, these values that I'm operating under, do they serve me? These values that I'm operating under, is there anyone that I feel is limiting me? Is there anyone that I feel is not helping me, stand in the highest place that I possibly can? Yeah. So let me just say this, a value, again, a value is a way of being or believing that we hold dear. They are deeply held principles that guide our choices, influence our emotions. So powerful. They guide our choices. So that's why our core values are so important, because a lot of times when you are faced between two options, should I do A or should I do B, right? Yes, you have the Spirit of God in you, and God will speak to you and tell you that. But a lot of times, if you're anchored into God, you will hear what God is saying. But a lot of times, even beyond that, we are colored by the beliefs that we have instead of what God is saying. Does that make sense? So the core values are very, 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 very important, because if that belief that you have, that lens that you're looking through life is not clear and is not values that actually help you become better, then you are basically you're basically misaligned and you're not standing on what you should. Yeah. So core values help you create new beliefs. It helps you define the rules around your actions and your decisions. And it helps you consider the things that are important going forward. Yeah. Hey, I just see my big sis. Big sis just joined. Tineke. So I'm going to give you examples of core values, right? I'm going to give you some examples of core values. Who would like to hear my own core values? Who wants to hear my core values?
I do.
Okay, I'll tell you my core values. My core values are honesty. It's my I prioritize. So it's like statements about yourself that help you guide you, that gives you parameters and boundaries around the things that you will and you will not do. That's what core values represent. So honesty is my core value. So anytime I'm faced with something, somebody says, hey, should you do this or that? And I always think through the lens again of honesty. Is this thing honest? Do you understand what I mean? Resilience is my core value. It's a core value of mine. So I'm resilient in everything. I push through no matter the setback. If you find me in a situation, I will always, I don't just throw the towel in. I will always push through. So that helps me. So if anything is happening in my life, and even if I'm going through a really, really dark time, and which I do, like everybody else, I always say to myself, I am resilient in everything. I push through no matter the setback. And it falls me going forward. Another core value for me is personal growth. I'm determined that I will maximize everything on the inside of me, right? Another personal value is self control and discipline. I'm self control and I'm disciplined. So I test my self control, I test my discipline sometimes. I say, I put a knife to my throat. I say, no, I'm not going to do this because I want to make sure that my self control and discipline is always tip top shape. Yeah. So that is how you master yourself. If you're able to identify all these things I'm giving you, you've got a picture of who you are. Yeah. Another core value of me is family. I prioritize my family. I love them and I prioritize. So those are my own core values. Pick your own. What are the things? Top five things that if I meet glory, I know that if she has made a decision, these 5 things can never be compromised in that decision. That's how you know that you have your core values. Yeah. And then the final one is your feet. So one is the leg. Leg is like your leg, the long part, and then the feet is like the part that goes on the ground. Yeah. So the feet basically speaks to your manifestations. Yeah. Your manifestations. And it really speaks to what your footprint is. What your footprint, how you show up in the world. Where have the soles of your feet gone on? Where can we find you? Right? And it will differ for different people. We our footprints, how you show up in the world will include things like what you do, your career saving, and it's transient. But as you remember, as I said, you will keep refining this identity, your identity manifesto. So everything I've been teaching is part of what I call an identity, creating an identity manifesto for yourself, something that you can use to say, this is who I am, right? And when it comes from your manifestation is something that that would include all the ways in which you show up in currently in life. So I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and all of that. You see, it's last. I've talked about so many things before I came there. But a lot of times people talk about that first and don't realize that there's so much more to them before that. So I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, that. And as you go on and you refine your your identity manifesto and you change things, you keep updating your manifestations. But it's good for you to get a snapshot in terms of where I am today. This is who I am, a businesswoman, I'm this, I'm doing that. How many people found that valuable? So let me just break it down to you again. What I want you to do is to go back and think, right? You've heard this word. I've sown the seed, and I'm praying that nobody here is rocky soil. Everybody here is good soil. So you take the seed and go and do the work. Write your divinity statements. Identify your superpowers. Yeah? Translate it into what it means for the world in your core strengths. Define your values. What's 5 top things that are important to you in your life? And then write down how you currently show up in the world and how you want to show up in the future, right? And that is it. That is who you are, top to tail, your identity manifesto, a snapshot. Yeah. I hope that was useful to you. For anybody who wants to, in fact, let me even ask, who is ready to, who is going to do this work, this identity manifesto thing that I talked about, like defining yourself, defining it? Who thinks that it's a good idea to do? And who is going to do? If you are not going to do it, God is watching you. Nobody should raise their hand and say, I'm going to, as soon as I leave your tomb, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and then you don't do it. No. Who is going to do it? Who sees value in doing it?
I see value in doing it, but I missed some of the points you made earlier because I joined late.
Okay, I got you. Don't worry, I've got you. But I like the fact that you came up. So what I'm typing now in the chat is something that will help you.
All right, thank you.
So Tomba.com, go to tomba.com/manifesto, and I give you a guide to create your own personal identity manifesto. Yeah. So it
Thank
is
you so much.
so important to discover who you are, because that is how you if you don't know who you are, you're operating from, you're building, but you're building on God knows what. You need to be building on a foundation that is sure, on a foundation that is true, from your inner core and your identity. Yeah. I have 2 more things I want to say to you guys. I run a mentoring group for anybody who is interested. It's very, very accessible. It's called the More Collective, and this is for people who are intentional about manifesting their higher selves. It's a catalytic community of people who want to be more, do more, and have more. And we do a few things. I give you structure for you get accountability as part of being in the group. So I give you structure every single Monday. We put our goal, we write our goals. On Friday we submit what we've done for the week, and it's actually quite fun in the way that we do it. We read a book a month, and we do book reviews every single weekend on a Friday, and we have master classes. So we have a master class every single month. So you get a lot of value for it at the price point that it is. So if you guys are interested in, I will drop the link in. You can go and find out more about it and read about it. And I would love to welcome you. Again, it's very accessible at the price point that it is, and it's a lot of value. I also drop a weekly voice notes, a catalytic voice note that charges people in terms of what they want to do. That's it. And then the next thing, for anybody who's looking to understand who they are and find their more, I host a podcast called the Created for More podcast, and I'm also start doing a summit on the 18th and 19th of February this month with some amazing speakers that are going to come and charge you. It's a free summit. They're going to charge and activate you. The theme of the summit is deactivation, because it had to be after me. Yes, it's my summit. Deactivation. So it's going to charge you and activate you onto your next level. It's on the 18th and 19th. I have people like John Obidi speaking, Joyce Awoshika, Udo Kunjo, Joyce Daniels. There are plenty. Really, Jimmy Tewe are all going to be at this summit. So you want to make sure you come. And we're talking about every single thing: how you cast a vision for your more, how you create time for your more, how you scale your more, how you activate. Udo is going to be speaking about how you activate wealth for your more. John Obidi is going to be talking about mastery, what I talked about, but going deep. So it's going to be really good. It's a free summit. So I'll also pop the link in. If you want to be part of that, go check it out. Register when you can. That's all from me. So I'm going to give you two things. One was the More Collective. This is the More Collective, and then the summit is here, tombra.com/CFM summit. That's it. I'm done. Thank you very much, guys.
Wow. Really? Wow, this is okay. I think Tope wants to share. Yes, Tope is sharing our screen for the flyer. Tope. Yeah, okay, that's the flyer. Wow. This is loaded. Thank you so much, Mark. Tope, are you saying something? Thank you so much, Ma. We celebrate you. Thank you so much. So we have 3 more minutes. So let me just ask, if you have any question, please show our speaker some love. So what is your take home from this section? So you can unmute yourself and say your thank you and join me in celebrating this amazing gift of God to us this evening. So please unmute your speakers and say something.
Thank you so much, Tombra. You have given us so much value.
Thank you for making me understand that I'm the light. Thank you for that.
Wow,
we appreciate you.
So how do we join your group?
You're on mute. You're on mute, Ma.
It's called the More Collective. I'll check, put it in again.
More Collective.
Yeah.
So that's the one that is www.tombra.com/more.
Yes.
Okay.
It's called the More Collective. So if you click on it, you'll be able to find out more about it and all of that. But please only come if you're serious about finding your more. You're serious about, don't come here and I say, what are you doing this week? I don't really know. I will kick you out. I will kick you out.
But you sorry.
It's not a place for
sorry, before you kick us out, we have to learn. We have to learn because we don't even know. So please don't try not to kick us.
Don't mind me. Come. Don't worry. Come first. We'll see.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Ma. Thank you so much. We celebrate you and we thank you for the gift of your time. We
No
really,
problem.
really appreciate
Yes.
you.
Don't
So
thank me. Thank me if go and do your manifesto. That's when
no,
you've done it. Come back and
this
thank you on
that's
Instagram. Come if you've done it, come back and thank me
yeah.
on Instagram.
Please can you share your Instagram handle for those that would love to reach out to you about Instagram?
Okay, let me do it.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess we are super cleared. No question. We have 1 more minute.
That's my Instagram handle.
Okay, please let me talk as
Any question?
yeah, this is Tokwe.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. I was actually trying to share the flyer for the summit because if you're still on this call, please, you don't want to miss that summit. It's super power packed. I know the people on the panel, and trust me, it's going to be worth your time. If you have to plan to create time to be fully present, show up, and participate such that you can actually get value, apply value, and become someone that you yourself will be amazed about. It's something that I highly recommend. And thank you so much to our teacher today. She's always power packed, comes with so much fire and energy. And I could tell when she said, if you're not ready to work, don't come. Because yes, at the more collective, you're going to do the work. So, and really, there's no how we can shine. There's no how we can become better if we don't do the work. So even in discovering yourself, you have to do the work, you have to do the manifesto. And trust me, when you're done with your manifesto, you'll be like, wow, you already begin to see transformation just from seeing the amount of light that is inside of you. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And thank you once again to our speaker. God bless you. And please click on all the links that she has dropped. Please, as a matter of urgency, we'll also try and send it to you across in our newsletters. Reach out to me or Dorcas as well for more information, just in case you miss out on it on the Zoom link. Thank you so much, everyone.
Sorry, I wanted to say very quickly, the more collective is for women. I just realized there's some men here. Don't join me, please.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm already in your website.
You don't have a package for the men?
Package for what?
Any package for the men?
Not yet.
For the men.
I'm saying specifically for women. It's part of knowing your superpowers. So my superpower is to activate the women. That's too much. The work is plenty. So let me focus on them. But don't mind me. Even if you feel like you don't really,
thank you. So men.
Wait. Even if you feel like you don't really know what you're doing and all that, still come, because there is power in being part of a catalytic community. Because as you're seeing other people, I have people that join. They've just one joined in just at the beginning of January, and just 3 weeks in. If you see her testimonial, in fact, let me just read it to you because it was so powerful. She says this because I put it on my Instagram. She said, "This first 3 weeks has been intentional. For the first time, I don't have that feeling of you haven't done anything much and it's already 3 weeks into the new year and it will soon be three months and the year is gone. For the first time, I'm getting a clearer picture of what it means to plan your day, plan your week with real intentionality. This accountability group thing for me is really new and refreshing. I am grateful I took the step to be part of the More Collective, and I see huge possibilities already this year." That was just after 3 weeks. So it really
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ma. So see you in the next edition of the U series webinar. So thank you to everyone that participated. We appreciate you and we celebrate you and hope it was value for your time. So you can also follow us on Instagram at DT Think Tank. Share your testimonials. Like, we would like to hear from you, get feedback based on what you've learned and your take home. And don't forget, most importantly, register for the conference. Yes, register for the conference and click on the link our speakers have shared. Thank you once again. Do have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.